how's summer been? 7-on-7s and workouts going into the fall camp.
I'll have them introduce themselves first. Let's start over here.
My name is Brayden. I play wide receiver and DB.
Tart, I'm the quarterback.
My name is Luke Smith. I play middle backer and long snapper.
My name is Trent, Leonard. I play wide receiver and safety.
So, as far as summer, it's been busy. We've put in a lot of work over the summer. Nobody was happy with how things went last year, and so we decided early on, as soon as the season ended, that we were going to buckle down and get to work. We spent a lot of time throwing the football this summer. We're making a transition to the spread, and we're slinging the ball around. And so that's what we did all summer. I think we faced 19 different teams in 7-on-7, traveled all over the state to do it. So had a lot of success throwing the ball around over the summer. Guys really bought into what we're doing. We're blessed to have some great athletes and a really smart quarterback. So it was a fun summer. It was busy. I can't believe it's over already, but we put in a lot of work.
Coach, you mentioned a change to a more spread-oriented attack. I mean, what was the motivation? What was it that sparked you to, change your philosophy?
Well, I think as a coach, you have to work with what you have, and about midway through the season, I kind of realized last year that I was just being stubborn. And I wanted my stuff to work so bad, and I had to kind of look back and say, well, it's not. We've got to make a change. And then in the off season, you have to do a lot of evaluation. When you're wrong, you're wrong, and you have to sometimes put on your grown man pants and say, look, I made a mistake last year, and we've got to move forward and make a change and put guys where they're in a position to win. It doesn't matter how bad I want something to work. If we're dealing with guys that have a different skill set, then that's where we need to go. And so that's the change we've made.
How much did it help having Kai, not only him, but so many good skilled players with talent, and not just talent catching the ball, but with speed?
Well, I'll tell you, I wouldn't have made this change if I didn't have the guy sitting to my right. Brag on Kai a little bit. He's probably the smartest football player that I've ever been around as a high school player. The guy absolutely knows the game inside and out. He studies it for fun. And that's what you need in order to run this kind of offense. I'm not going to throw too much out there. It's not just your typical spread. There's a lot of stuff that the quarterbacks and receivers have to be on the same page. And so having this guy to my right and these two guys on the outside, really buying in and saying, hey, we're going to take the time to get in our playbook and study and study and study and study, made it a whole lot easier to make this transition.
Coach, are you still willing to make changes to the offensive or defensive scheme midway through the year, or are you going to try it?
We're set. With the amount of last year, we didn't have the investment. I'll just be honest. We didn't have the investment in the spring, in the summer. This year we do. This year everybody's completely bought in. We're eyeballs deep into it, and I don't think anybody wants to change. And that's a big difference from last year, if we're being honest. The guys are bought in. They love what we're doing. It's fun. It's exciting. It's something you can turn on the TV and see. You can turn on a video game. You can see. And it works. And we've seen that over the summer with the success we had traveling around the state. So.
Coach, I think you said it was a spread, but, would you describe it as a zone-oriented spread, a power-oriented spread? How would you describe
It's
what do you guys use?
No, we're going to sling the ball around. It's a derivative of the run and shoot. If you go back to my coaching roots, I was an offensive coordinator for a run and shoot team, and so we pulled that out and made a lot of phone calls, spent a lot of hours on the phone with people who have forgotten more than I'll ever know, to make sure that we're doing this thing the right way.
To be honest, I look at it guys from every level. Some guys take their leadership, some type of skill. It's just, the biggest guy I could kind of say would be, I like Justin Herbert a lot. Bigger guy, obviously not me, but very good leader, and that's what I kind of try to pride myself on, as being a great leader.
Brayden, how this summer, these 7-on-7s and having the success you guys have had offensively, how has that built your guys' chemistry, you, Kai, and everybody that's involved?
Man, it's been fun. Like, just going out and competing with teams that are just like a higher A as you, and seeing some guys break out, like Trent, one that's not here, like Keith. Man, they've been putting on a show, and we've been having fun, and we just love the energy in the locker room for sure.
For Trent, what specifically have you been working on?
I've been working on spreading the ball out, being able to work on routes, be able to high point the ball, something I wasn't able to really do good last year, and being able to make space for myself and give Kai time and give Kai a good target to throw to.
Coach, I know a big part of your struggle last year was lack of size and lack of depth. Has that been addressed?
We addressed that in the spring. I was fortunate to have a weight training class. We got all those guys in it. We were block scheduled, so we had an hour and 50 minutes, 5 days a week. I'm sure if every one of these guys was in it, I'm sure if you ask them if we hit it hard, they would all say we did. We were weak last year. There's no way around it. We did not have strength. It wasn't just we didn't have size. We didn't have strength either. I don't think we had anybody that squatted 400 pounds in the program that we put on the field last year. This year we've got multiple guys that are squatting over 400 pounds. We've got guys that are deadlifting, 555. So the work we put into the weight room, and it wasn't always fun. They didn't always enjoy it. But when you have max out day and you see those numbers go up consistently and quickly, it makes it worth it. And it's a different mindset. We don't look like a middle school football team. We look like a high school football team that can go out and compete with anybody you put on our schedule.
Coach, we broadcasters love talking about the skill guys and the DBs and stuff like that, but the bread and butter is the offensive line, the defensive line. Talk about what Lucas and Noah and Jeremy at tight end and on the line have meant to the program in their body.
Offensive line guys, they're the ones that hit it hardest in the weight room. They knew from experience that they had to put in that work, that they had to get bigger, faster, and stronger, and they have. The biggest change I've seen is just the mentality. We have guys that take pride in playing offensive line now. It's not very often that, most programs you go, the big guys are always wanting, hey, let me catch the rock and do this and do that. Our guys have pride in pushing people around. We have guys that don't want to play defensive line. They enjoy being on the offensive line and being in pass pro, keeping this guy clean and making holes for our big old running back. So
this is for everyone. Is there a certain game circled on your calendar that you're looking forward to the most, or are all of them kind of the same?
We just kind of approach every opportunity with the chance to get better, and just there's not one game circled. I mean, it's all the games. We didn't have a great last year, so we're trying to really improve on this year and not really circle one game, but go from one game at a time.
Say it's really week by week. I would say I know first week's bye week. That's extra a week to get prepared for Wilkes Central, go out there, do what we need to. I'm really hoping for a better year. I know last year was not what everybody expected, but I definitely think that we can take a step in the right place where we need to go to make this a better year for our 2025 seniors and especially underclassmen to look up to us and get ready for the but the next years they got.
Coach, give us your thoughts on having that bye week in week one. What's the advantage to that?
I love it. I think last year we learned a lot last year, and one of the things we learned last year is that bye week in the middle of the season is not a good thing for everybody. It didn't work well for us. We kind of lost focus, and it was hard to get back on track after that. We had the opportunity to kind of get a non-conference game during our bye week. Southwest Randolph, their bye week matched up with ours, and so we decided to play Southwest Randolph after we play Rockingham, and that worked. And that gives us a week to get better in preparation for the season. As a coach, one thing I've always recognized is that first game comes up really quick. So to have your bye week, week 1, that gives us another week to get better while we're still in that mindset of, hey, we're in camp, we're here to get better, we're going to put in the work, we don't have games to play yet, let's take that extra week. And it gets, especially with making all the changes that we're making, that gives us a chance to stay locked in. And then once the season starts, it's just who's the next one up. You know, we play one game, we turn the page, we go to the next one, and once you get that rhythm going, you don't have to worry about that bye week in the middle of it, messing everything up, and now you got to get back to that game week mentality. From the time we start until the time we're done in the playoffs, we're game week mentality every week.
Coach, I'll start with you, and any player is willing to can answer this too, but we talked about a lot of the physical changes that happened, but mentally for your team's program, what had to change this offseason after last season, and what change did take place? Explain it for us.
Well, we got to know each other. You know, coming in as a kind of a different type guy than what they were used to. There was some pushback, and they got to know me, and I got to know them, and you know, they understand what I'm expecting, and I got to understand, you know, how to relate to them. You know, coaching's a weird job because there's no one way you can do it and be successful. Almost any other job you do, you learn how to do something, you do it that way every time, no matter where you go, and you can be good at it. Coaching is completely different. Every group of kids you have from year to year, they're going to be different. I have to understand what makes this guy tick. I have to understand what makes this. How do I get to Brayden over there? I mean, you have to figure that out, and it's hard to do that in a couple months. Now, in a year and a couple months, you can do that. Brayden and I butted heads. I think we both agree to that. We butted heads last year. This year, not so much. He knows exactly what I expect. I know how I need to approach him to get what he needs to do, and that goes across the board with everybody on our team. We've kind of built those relationships, and we've become tighter with each other too. We've understood that it is a kind of, when you're at McMichael football, it's kind of you against the world, and we've embraced that. We don't need all the outside noise. We're going to take care of what we need to take care of in-house, and when things are rolling, when people want to jump on board, we'll open our arms, we'll take them in. But for right now, you know, we are who we are, and we're us. So that was the biggest mindset change is just understanding what's expected and buying in. And these guys should take all the credit for that. There's nothing you can do as a coach to make your guys buy in. It's something they have to do on their time.
Coach, and this could make you think a little bit, but do you happen to know how many starters you return on each side of the ball?
Most of them. I think we have
4-day return.
I think we have 8 starters coming back on defense and 8 or 9 on offense. So as far as starters in production, we didn't really lose a lot from last year. We had a lot of things happen last year. I think if you followed us around with a camera and tried to make a documentary, everybody would say it was fake. We had a lot happen. We had a lot of guys have to play in different positions. That's going to pay off this year, where we got a lot of guys on the field to do a lot of things, and they're ready. So,
Coach, a lot of things said about offense. Talk about the defense. You know, we know offense sells tickets and everybody's excited, but defense wins championship at the end of the day. So talk about a little about your defense, and then obviously I see guys playing on both sides of the ball.
Our defense is fun. We're a little bit non-traditional with what we do defensively. We're more of a bear front type team. You don't see it too often, and so it makes your job. I came to it from being an offensive coach. There was a team that we played every year that ran that bear front, and I hated life for that week. And I said, if I ever get the chance, I'm going to run that bear front, just because zone it's hard to run, gaps it's hard to run. It's hard to run anything against it. You have to change things up and go ahead. Change something up for 1 week. We're going to do what we do. I feel like that gives us an advantage. It also frees us up personnel-wise. We don't have a lot of big body guys. We don't have them walking the hallways. What we do have are a lot of athletes. And so let's put more athletes on the field and allow them to run around in space. Our guys have done a great job of understanding that the days of playing defense where it's just see ball, get ball, those days are over. That Defense, you have to be a smart football player. You have to be disciplined. You don't have to make the play. You have to make your play. And we stress that over and over and over. And it's very easy to make the play without making the tackle. If you make the play, that means someone else makes a tackle. And these guys have gotten to be very unselfish. They're not worried about who gets credit for the tackle or who gets credit for the sack. They know that it's 11 guys working together. And if everybody does their job, then we as a group share in that success.
How much does it help having Brayden and Trent and Nate in that secondary?
A lot. I mean, we've got guys in the second. Don't forget Jaquise, Ty McFadden, Jayon Moore. I mean, I can just keep throwing names out there because I feel like that's what we can do in the defensive backfield is just keep throwing guys out there. They've done a great job, guys. We had a lot of success in 7-on-7 with our DBs. What most people probably didn't realize is we were playing a version of cover 0 in 7-on-7. So we weren't one of those teams that went out there and we drew up stuff in the dirt just for 7-on-7. We ran our stuff, and we're gonna keep the box free so that if we want to send as many as we can, we can. We've got cover 0 behind it, and we did well. And that tells you about a lot of the quality that we have in our defensive backfield. That in a 7-on-7 passing league, you can play a version of cover 0 and still lock people down. We feel pretty good about our secondary and just the number of guys that we can rotate in there and not lose production.
And lastly, what does success look like for your guys, maybe not record-wise, but just an improvement from last year? I see everyone on them look like they're ready to go right now. I see the hype and the improvement. Like, what does success look like for you going in this year?
We're already better than last year. We haven't played a game. And we're better than last year. I can tell you that right now. As far as how do we measure success, it's what we do Monday through Thursday. If we take care of what we need to do Monday through Thursday and we're locked in, we talk about fun. What kind of fun do you want to have? Monday through Thursday is not fun for us. We're not going to trade that kind of fun to go in Friday and have your teeth kicked in because that's not fun. You remember that kind of not fun. So we won't have fun Monday through Thursday. We'll get work in. We'll be disciplined. We'll be efficient. We'll do what we need to do. Friday nights will be fun. And so that's how we're going to measure our success is what does our preparation look like? If we're going in every day and we're becoming a better football team, we're becoming a tighter family, we're becoming more intelligent, we're becoming tougher football players, to us, that's success. The wins and losses, if you do everything else, the score takes care of itself. Bill Walsh said it best. If you take care of all the things you need to take care of, the score will take care of itself.
Coach Tapley and McMichael, appreciate it.
Appreciate it.